This is the Wikipedia page for Shadow Person. Welcome to WikiListen, the podcast where we read Wikipedia pages and provide commentary. I'm Rachel Teichman, LMSW.
And I'm Victor Varnado, KSN. All right, everybody. Shadow people. If you like being scared, this is probably your episode because shadow people are scary as F.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
Should we do a scary reading?
How do we do a scary reading?
Why? I'll show you.
I think anything I read is scary. Shadow Person. Shadow People redirects here. For the 2013 film, see Shadow People film. For other uses, see The Shadow People. This article has multiple issues. Please help improve it or discuss these issues on the talk page. This article may need to be rewritten to comply with Wikipedia's quality standards, April 2018. This article needs additional citations for verification, June 2017. A shadow person, also known as a shadow figure, shadow being, or black mass, is the perception of a patch of shadow as a living humanoid figure and interpreted as the presence of a spirit or other entity by believers in the paranormal or supernatural.
History and folklore. A number of religions, legends, and belief systems describe shadowy spiritual beings or supernatural entities such as shades of the underworld, and various shadowy creatures have long been a staple of folklore, ghost stories such as Islamic jinn and the Choctaw Melusa Cheeto.
My name is Batman.
Batman.
I speak in more of a full voice than Batman. Batman is more like, hey, everybody, I'm Batman.
The Coast to Coast AM late night radio talk show helped popularize modern beliefs in shadow people. The first time the topic of shadow people was discussed at length on the show was April 12th, 2001, when host Art Bell interviewed Native American elder Thunder Strikes, who is also known as Harley Swiftdeer Reagan. During the show, listeners were encouraged to submit drawings of shadow people that they had seen, and a large number of these drawings were immediately shared publicly on the website.
In October that year, Heidi Hollis published her first book on the topic of shadow people, and later became a regular guest on Coast to Coast. Hollis describes shadow people as dark silhouettes with human shapes and profiles that flicker in and out of peripheral vision, and claims that people have reported the figures attempting to jump on their chest and choke them. She believes the figures to be negative alien beings that can be repelled by various means, including invoking the name of Jesus.
What is Jesus' name?
Jesus.
Oh. Although participants in online discussion forums devoted to paranormal and supernatural topics describe them as menacing, other believers and paranormal authors do not agree whether shadow people are evil, helpful, or neutral. And some even speculate that shadow people may be the extra-dimensional inhabitants of another universe. Some paranormal investigators and authors, such as Chad Stambach, claimed to have recorded images of shadow people on video.
Shadow people feature in 2 episodes of ITP paranormal documentary series Extreme Ghost Stories, where the phenomenon is described as a black mass.
Scientific explanations. Several physiological and psychological conditions can account for reported experiences of shadowy shapes seeming alive. A sleep paralysis sufferer may perceive a shadowy or indistinct shape approaching them when they lie awake paralyzed and become increasingly alarmed.
A person experiencing heightened emotion, such as while walking alone on a dark night, may incorrectly perceive a patch of shadow as an attacker.
Many methamphetamine addicts report the appearance of shadow people after prolonged periods of sleep deprivation. Psychiatrist Jack Potts suggests that methamphetamine usage adds a conspiratorial component to the sleep deprivation hallucinations. One interviewed subject said that
You don't see shadow dogs or shadow birds or shadow cars. You see shadow people standing in the doorways, walking behind you, coming at you on the sidewalk.
These hallucinations have been directly compared to the paranormal entities described in folklore.
Finally, visual hallucinations such as those caused by schizophrenia and bipolar disorder may appear to be shadowy figures at the edge of peripheral vision.
In popular culture, The Nightmare is a 2015 documentary that discusses the causes of sleep paralysis as seen through extensive interviews with participants, and the experiences are reenacted by professional actors. It proposes that such cultural phenomena as alien abduction, the near-death experience, and shadow people can, in many cases, be attributed to sleep paralysis. The real-life horror film debuted at the Sundance Film Festival on January 26th and premiered in theaters on June 5th.
Shadow people, described as shadow men, feature prominently in the 2007 novel John Dies at the End. When they kill a person, that person is retroactively erased from existence, and history is rewritten as though they were never born.
The 2013 horror film Shadow People depicts a fictional sleep study conducted during the 1970s in which patients report seeing shadowy intruders before dying in their sleep. The movie follows a radio host and CDC investigator who researched the story, and the story is claimed to be based on true events.
In a 2012 episode of A&E's intervention series, the subject Skylar is plagued by shadow people, sometimes called phase people, and sprays a mist to unveil them in the refractions. He also builds weapons to fight them and alleges that they are using stolen technology to telepathically communicate with certain individuals.
I feel like that doesn't need to be an intervention episode. That just needs to be some psychiatric treatment.
I'm wondering what that is all about. I'm gonna go watch it. We're intervening on your psychosis. Don't you think you've had enough?
In the online game Deep Sleep and its sequels, shadow people have existed since the dawn of the human race and lurk in lucid dreams. Players who realize that they are asleep can be paralyzed and possessed, and the character's dream self will be turned into a shadow person.
An episode of the 1985 Twilight Zone series titled The Shadow Man dealt with a teenage boy who had a shadow person living underneath his bed. The episode portrayed the Shadow Man as fitting the Hat Man appearance commonly ascribed to shadow people, and added to the mythology that shadow people can kill humans but will not harm those under whose bed they live.
I actually saw that episode of The Twilight Zone in 1985 when it first aired, and it was pretty scary, especially because it was based on this thing that lived underneath this kid's bed, and I saw it, and it just was a scared thing. Even though at the time I was like 15 or 16, still pretty scary.
I'm pretty sure I have seen that episode, though I don't remember specifically. But have you ever seen a shadow person?
Have I ever seen a shadow person?
Yeah.
You mean like from dreaming? Yeah, I used to have the sleep paralysis thing happen a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, and I would just be there, and then shadow people would just be hanging out, like dudes at the edge of the bed with like yellow eyes and black bodies. I'll be like, yo, get me out of here. I can't. Come on, legs work.
That's pretty terrifying.
Yes, it's very terrifying. I agree with this article. Shadow people are scary as F.
Thanks for listening to WikiListen. You can find us at wikilisten.com and on all social media at WikiListen, except for Twitter, which is at wiki_listen.
If there's a particular page you'd like us to read, please what have you done?